welcome to the second instalment of testing all the karting tracks across the UK and probably Ireland and probably Spain and probably the whole entire world. So,
this is too big, that's too small.
There I am complaining about the seat insert. But for this one, I'm still up in Scotland. I'm actually at Larkhall karting, which was one of my favourite karting tracks growing up. We used to race it every year in the British Champs. And also we'd go up quite a bit to do the club races prior to the British Champs. So, as you can see, the lad here, who I forgot his name, who's basically like the manager of the track, the managing mechanic, he's sorting out the seat for me. So these karts have got like an adjustable seat, like a lot of these rental karts actually. I'm still kind of new to rental karts generally speaking, but what I always want is a seat as far back as possible, especially for a tall lad like me. I'm 6'2", quite heavy. I was weighing 89 kilos on the day, which is actually kind of embarrassingly heavy. But straight away, so coming out the pits. Now I'll talk about the track in a bit, but first of all, notice how straight away I'm warming up the tyres. It's just like natural habit from what I grew up doing. Kind of like, you don't even think about it. But it's obviously very, very handy. And the minute you see it, it kind of helps me out. So again, now on this back straight, going to that high-speed right-hander, just weaving about, just getting the kart slide. Because not only are you sliding on the tyres and building in some form of temperature, but also you're feeling how that specific kart feels in a slide. Bit heavy on the brakes. I found that the kart was very understeery, to be honest. So I had to kind of adjust the style accordingly, which, as you'll see, happened quite quickly. Now, I was very fortunate that this day that I rocked up just on a random, I think it might be on a Tuesday, literally on a random Tuesday, just happened to have two lads that are very, very fast. One of them is this guy on the left, who also I forgot the name off, which is really, really annoying. But another guy who's actually come out the pits behind me and that other lad is Paul McGuinness, who's the track record holder. Actually, he set the track record on this very session, the first session of us both being on track. Now, this guy ahead, he's the dad of that lad that I just overtook. And to be honest, he was actually pretty decent, but very heavy. So he's losing a lot of lap time. So fast forward a few laps, I kind of drove away from the front of the pack. And what I've done is I've backed off. So I was kind of bored. I was just up the road by myself. So I've backed off, and this is probably lap 4 or so of the session. Lap 5 maybe. So obviously on the cold tyres I've managed to drop them, and then I've gone, right, now the tyres are up to temp. I'll roll over and have a bit of a race. So I rolled over for that first guy, and then I saw Paul coming I should say. So I rolled over for Paul, and I tried to push behind him, but little did I know he would absolutely drop me. So Paul, as I said, Paul McGuinness, his name, he broke the lap record in this session at a 59.0, I want to say he did. Now, I think I went like P14 or P15 off the, I'm not sure of the week or the month or what it was, but whatever it was on the, I think of the year actually, because these karts were new for this year, and this was in the February. So something along those lines. Anyway, so now I'm clipping to the next part, but just to give you an update, what happened. So that other lad, we found out that I was weighing 89 kilos, the other lad was 71 kilos, and then Paul was 51 kilos. But what you can do on these karts, what's very, very good about Larkhall, what I will give it boosting in the rankings, is you can add on lead and see. I don't know if I'll highlight it, but on the left-hand side of the cart, of the seat, there's actually like metal kind of mouldings where you can put in lead and let it up. So it's got a capacity to hold up to 30 kilo. So obviously on Paul we put on 30 kilo, so he's effectively 81 kilo now. Obviously I stayed without any lead, so I'm still 89. So now the difference between myself and Paul is only 8 kilo. And then that other lad in the number 16 kart, whose name I can't remember for the life of me, which is very frustrating. We added on, I believe, 20 kilo to him, which led him up to 91. So we were all very, very close. As I'm shouting at someone. Yeah, there's a red flashing light. Perfect. Right, so let's go out for the second session.
This will be good now. if one of us gets away, just wait for the others, and then we'll keep racing.
So I'm shouting to if someone gets away to keep waiting up. So let's jump forwards into the session itself. So now we're on halfway around the outlap, and the 16 guys kind of lifted off for me to catch up. And I believe Paul was actually ahead of the two of us. Although, to be fair, he might have been behind. Now the 16 guy goes very wide in the high-speed right-hander. And to be honest, the start of the session was a little bit carnage. So I'll talk you through this lap. Now I think I'm right behind his dad. Obviously the camera angle was not very helpful. So I do actually fix that by accident, as you'll see later on. So I'll tell you what, we'll just do an onboard lap because I overtake the dad this time next lap. And then we'll fast forward to the point where myself and Paul are racing together, which honestly is the highlight of the whole video and the whole trip to Scotland. So this first left-hander, that's flat, not an easy flat corner. You got to time it right with that curbing on the left. And now this part of the track, which I was scared would be a lot worse than it used to be. I've completely missed the left apex. But that used to be one of my favourite corners when it was a double right-hander, and now it's like a left into a right, which I was scared would make it worse, but it's actually better, which is crazy. And the track will gain points for that because it's absolutely lovely. Fast right-hander, even faster than it used to be, even better than it used to be. They've updated the curbing on the exit, that's nice. Now, we're not doing like the British Champs layout, we're going straight into the old hairpin, but then with new hairpin for the right. These two corners, very, very nice combo. I'd like to try the British Champs layout. As you can see, me and that guy's dad thumbs up in each other. So got by him easily enough, and there was another guy out with us who was a little bit less experienced, but to be fair, was doing a very, very good job for his first go. So I'll pop it up the inside of him into the left. Now, what kind of happened here was, I think the lad in that 16 kart crashed with his dad right now behind me. I think I'd like to check behind. I don't know if the camera, you'll really be able to pick it up. But I recall looking back now, and I've just got a huge gap, so you can see me like double checking. I'm like, what the hell? So we'll skip now to when Paul and myself are racing wheel to wheel. So jumping now a lap or so. I'm now behind Paul. I've just let Paul by. Still, the camera angle is really not ideal, so don't worry about that. That will get fixed in a minute. So the tight left-right, I'm kind of setting up the right-hander a bit better, get a better exit. But obviously he's still 8 kilos lighter than me, and that's kind of where that better release comes from for him. So I'm straight into the toe, which, although these karts are quite slow, like the toe definitely still helps a bit. Like if we're doing a cadet kart or a mini kart or whatever culture you come from and name you call the type of smallest kart. Again, Paul's kind of in a little bit harder than me. It's that left-hander, so it gives me a chance to kind of stay within touching distance. Now, I think my biggest weakness was that second hairpin, the right-hand hairpin, and I think that's just because it's the slowest corner, so the weight probably plays a bigger effect. But I was playing around with it as well. Now, that last corner is exactly how I remember it being back in like the TKM days, doing Super 1 there, where you want to be on that curb. Too much curb for that left just there. As you can see, I'm hopping about all over the kart. So I think now, because I don't really like engage in wheel-to-wheel combat with Paul for a little while, perhaps I do. So I think now is a good time to talk about the kart and track ratings, whatever you want to say. So the track, oh my god, what a track. Now the only reason I'm not giving it 10 out of 10 is because I know that like PFI is slightly better. Oh, little lunge, nice, good move that. But the extensions made it better than what it used to be, and it used to be one of my favourite tracks anyway. The track, I've got to give it a 9 out of 10. It is an absolutely brilliant track, love it. And the karts, now the karts are a bit slow, so that's the only thing that takes away from them, because they're not like super slow to the point where it's like, oh my god, this is boring as hell. But for how big the track is, like the karts are quite slow. Inside like an indoor track, I think these karts would probably feel insanely fast. But we're not at a tiny little indoor track, we're at a big proper outdoor karting track. So for that, I just can't give them a 10 out of 10 because they're just not quite, oh my god, missed the apex terribly once again. Driving like an absolute bandito maximo. But as I say, they're very, very equal. The fact you can lead up the karts adds points. I think I would have given them an 8, but because you can lead them up, I've got to just give it a 9. The only thing preventing it from being a 10 is that they're slower than those D-Maxes that you get at Daytona. Because ideally you want something really fast. Like, that's the only issue, is that they're not really that super fast. So that's obviously not quite ideal. So now that I've concluded both kart and track deserve a 9 out of 10, which is very, very good, let's talk about value for money whilst I'm letting Paul overtake me here. I think I've switched back him now, so I like let him by and then he understeers. No, okay, that's another time. So I'm right on his Paul's bumper now. Right, so Cambuslang, however you want to say it, which is my only real reference as to what the value for money was. As I said in my previous video, that was £46.20 for 30 minutes, two times 15-minute sessions. That move should have probably stuck, only that Paul obviously is a little bit lighter, so again, that's what gave him a better release, but still make great racing. I think I'll hold stations a little bit now. Switch back him, let's see what happens. Hold him tight, and then do I pull off the switch back here? Not quite, don't quite get the exit. So Cambuslang, as I was saying, £1.54 per minute that equates to. Larkhall circuit, £56 for the same track time, so for 30 minutes split into 2 sessions of 15 minutes, and that equates to £1.86 per minute. So it's a little bit more expensive. I mean, you're paying 30p per minute, like it's in total less than £10 more. It's £9.70 to be precise, which is very little difference if I'm being honest. Percentage wise, you're talking what, like 18%, 20%, something like that. So you might argue, okay, percentage more is a lot, but it's only like, it's a tenner more. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the Starbucks nowadays. And I would say it's certainly worth that value for money, because it's a much better experience altogether than Cambuslang. And Cambuslang being indoor, that's the switch back now. He goes in tight. Can I switch back this? Vamos! Got that one done. I kept looking at him, trying to get like a thumbs up moment, but he never looked at me back. I think he was just focusing too hard, which is fine. It is what it is, whatever. Right, it's fine, Paul. You just broke my heart, whatever. Anyway, so I got that move done on Mr. McGuinness there. As you can see, now that we're only 8 kilos difference in weight, he's definitely still got the pace on me, and I think the lap time reflected that as well, where he was like 2/10 quicker. But like, now we can fight, so it's actually really nice to kind of be like that, because he's doing a good job, but he's not quite maximising it yet. There we go. Now I've just knocked the camera, and I'm like, wow, what have I just done? Because I thought I knocked it too far back, but now you can finally see the racetrack, and you can see it's proper cool, isn't it? So as I was saying, Larkhall karts, 9 out of 10. Larkhall track, 9 out of 10. £56 for 30 minute, equating to £1.86 per minute. Now, as I was saying in the previous video, because I've not really got a reference, this is my only second track I've done. Obviously, this is more expensive than Cambuslang. I don't think I can start rating them really out of 10 for the value for money till I've got like between 10 and 20 tracks. I think once I've got like 20 and I've got a good idea for what the industry charges, then I can rank it a bit more. I absolutely nailed that then. So that's obviously flat. I think now I'm driving it a bit better and you can see a bit better, so I'll talk it through a bit more. In too hard for that left once again. Although that right-hander is definitely faster just to hug right next to the curb all the way around. Do I let Paul by now? It looks like I'm about to. I'm definitely on the right-hand side. No, I don't think I do. Okay, I think I was just doing route of shortest route. Carry the good speed through that right-hander. Hook it up nicely into that hairpin. Actually, I drove that quite well. Let's see what I'm like through this right hairpin. I found earlier braking and softer braking, and just like, even though you kind of kill the speed a bit on the entry, it's just way better for the exit. It's like the only way I could go through there reasonably half decent on revs without completely killing my minimum. Okay, so now I let Paul by again. I think I gapped him a little bit that lap, and I was like, right, let's just start racing. Now this is the one where I switch back it. So he's gone in too hard. What he should have done ideally is like kind of lift and just like get to that apex and cover the switchback. But that being said, I did kind of bait him into it in his defence, because I've like obviously let him in like a really high speed corner. So let him back through again, because I'm kind of starting to get a bit time conscious now. I mean, we're 15 minutes into the video nearly, And so like imagine into the session, like most of this video has just been this session, hasn't it? So I'm starting to think, right, we're running out of time in the session. I want to get some racing going, because I knew that the racing clips would be really good. So I'm kind of trying to think, bang for my buck, let's get as much content as possible. So I'll try and switch up that switchback again. Didn't happen this time. To be fair to Paul, we carried in good speed, and like with that banking, he could almost used it to like work out well. So I'm gonna, when I go back there, I will go back there soon, because I've actually got a free session that I want to use. So I will go back there pretty soon, certainly before the summer, I would say. I need to play around with that secondary hairpin and see what I can do. So you can see there, I've actually reeled him in a bit, and that's all line. That was all line through that turn one. I'll back it up more for the left and get a better exit for the right. As you can see, like that there again, you need to like really apex well on that left. You can't miss that apex, and then get the good exit out the right by being tight. Also, by the way, what a lovely helmet. It's really like Schumacher-esque. I think I dive up the inside now. I'm not too sure. Yeah, look at that. Oh, very half-hearted by myself. That's not a good move at all. But Paul's done a good job not to shunt. He's kind of like half conceded the corner, giving me the room, even though I've gone in like a little bit late. Now I managed to use that to my advantage and get the switch back side by side through the chicane. It's turned out to be a nice move, but the initial attempt wasn't actually very good. So coming back onto this straight now, obviously these lap times aren't going to be as fast as if I'm just pushing by myself, because we're like racing wheel to wheel. But let's be honest, that's the more fun, the most fun you can have about the karting track. That's a bit better on the left. Got a bit of oversteer for some reason on that right. Perhaps like just carrying a tiny bit too much through. Again, you can see I kind of like gap him every time in a couple of car lengths. I think I'm lifting now. Do I let him by? Yeah, I do. Okay, so I've lifted and let him by again. I'm trying to create more racing scenarios. I don't go in this time. I think I felt a bit bad about that last one. But one thing where I think, because we were both understeering, I reckon, but I've kind of managed just to deal with it a little bit better. And now I've tried to set up the same switchback again, but this time not far alongside. And I stick it in there anyway. But he's managed to just hold on. And I want to say that was then the checkered. Yes, that's checkered there. So he actually beat me. So fair play to Paul. Set the lap record and then beat me in a wheel-to-wheel race. So certainly, Paul, we're going to have to play that back and go again. I had a great time here at Larkhall. The staff were top. Special shout out to Douglas for assisting us with the lead. So if anyone from Larkhall management watches this video, be sure to give Douglas a pat on the back, or like a massive tip. What would you say? Is that what you say if you're like in employment? Bonus, that's it. Give him a huge bonus, because he's an absolute G. But yeah, really, really happy with the whole experience. Track's mega, karts are mega, and I got very, very fortunate that I just happened to rock up on the same day as two people that were fast, and another guy, obviously the dad, who was good but just not as fast because of his weight. So you could argue three people that are pretty good, and even the guy who was like the least good, if that makes sense, the slowest out of the lot, even he was half decent. So you know, Larkhall, I really think it's one of those places where, and now I wouldn't be so sure, because I've only obviously gone that one time for the rental karting, but I really do think it's one of those places where you can just rock up almost whenever, and like you'll get good competition and it'll be good fun. So definitely check out that track, especially if you're in the north of England or south of Scotland or west of Scotland, and yeah, see how you get on. But I can't wait to be back there. Thank you very much everyone for watching. If you've watched this far, let me know in the comments below what your local karting track is, or if you've got any recommendations of a karting track you would like me to go and rate and review, and I'll be making a video on that shortly. Thank you everyone for watching.
Hey, fair play to you. That was so much fun. That was brilliant. That was good, that. That was class, wasn't it?